Incredible food does not have to be difficult, and the Butcher's Market makes it absolutely simple for us. Thanks for being a part of the Steak of the Month Club. This month, we've got an Ancho chili lime flank steak. They got it marinated for us. They've got it all prepped up for us. All we have to do is cook it and enjoy it. Super simple. Let's get into the action. So today I'm using a Kamado Joe, and I've got a grill temperature of 550 degrees, maybe even closer to 600. We are rolling hot today. Check it out. And if you're using a gas grill or you're using a cast iron pan, you want a higher elevated temperature because this is a relatively thin cut of beef. Let's take a look. So we want a good sear on the outside before we overcook it. So we want a good, strong temperature. Oh my gosh, that marinade hasn't even hit the heat and it smells fantastic.
No seasoning, it's ready to go.
It's ready to go. I mean, it is beautiful, it's perfect. Look how thin it is. Again, we want a blistering sear on the outside. We don't want to overcook this. We want to take it to an internal temperature of what? What do you think, 120, 125? So right on the grill grate. And if you don't hear the sizzle right off the bat, you're not hot enough. Oh my gosh, the aromas right off the bat are stunning. I love using natural lump charcoal. I'm gonna pile it right underneath. And let those drippings fall, caramelize, and come back up as beautiful Ancho chili lime smoke. All right, let's take a look. We've been grilling direct for about 3 minutes now. I'm loving the color on this steak, all right? We just grilled it direct on one side for about 4 minutes, so we're gonna do 4 minutes on the other side. We wanna make sure that we've got the correct level of doneness and have it centered, right? So we've got 4 minutes on this side, and then from that point, it doesn't matter how many times we flip it or what angle, we're just putting more char and more caramelization of that beautiful marinade that the Butcher's Market put on there for us. Really excited. We'll take a temperature in about 4 minutes just to see where we are, but again, we're gunning for that 125 internal temp. The toughest thing, just like most of the things at the Butcher Market, is gonna be letting this steak rest when it gets to the proper internal temperature. I struggle with it, but it is important. We gotta let it rest. Let's go ahead and flip it and see where we're at. Look at that. I mean, I'm gonna turn it this way so you can see. And I'm gearing you up, so get ready. This is the perfect steak to talk about slicing across the grain. You can see it like a road map here. See these lines? If you slice this steak with the grain, you're gonna be chewing on it for a country hour. But if you slice it across the grain, it's another way of mechanically tenderizing the steak, and it wants to fall apart at every line. And so it's a much better mouthfeel and better experience all around. This is gonna be fun. Let's go ahead and use our thermopop and see where we're at in internal temperature. Now, the proper way to take a temperature is to get in the thickest part of the steak, push the probe in, pull it out, and push it back in. That's called floating the thermometer. And we're at almost 90 degrees at about 10 minutes. So we're doing pretty good, team. We're almost there. So we've got about another 5 minutes on this cook. I'm gonna shut the dome now so we can capture some of that smoke flavor.
But there's no, you didn't put any wood for smoke.
There's no wood in there smoking, but what we do have is the dripping of the meat falling down, caramelizing on that charcoal and creating a meat fog. So we're seasoning the beef with its own drippings. Amazing stuff. All right, let's take a look. $124, perfecto. Let's go ahead and pull this baby off and let it rest. All right, now we're gonna slice into it.
Ah, you got me for a second.
Got him, got him. So we gotta rest, we gotta let it rest. Okay, it's not a huge piece of meat. The amount of time that you have to let a piece of meat rest is dependent on the size and if it's bone in or not. This is a relatively small roast, so I'm thinking about 10 to 15 minutes. Golly, it is the most difficult thing in all of cooking, is letting this meat rest. But if we slice into it, there's gonna be liquid spilling out onto the cutting board, and that's a clear indication that this steak is not as good as it should have been or could have been. We gotta wait. And we're rested, okay? It is time to slice into this beauty. So take a look. We were talking about going across the grain. And when I bend it a little bit, you can really see that grain, okay? So I'm gonna do 1 cut width, and this is gonna begin to bloom out as the oxygen interacts with the meat, okay? And by cutting in half, I make it easier to slice. There's less friction on the knife and the meat. So here we go. Cutting across the grain. Once we have it sliced, we're gonna take a little salt and any of this board sauce and just toss it together. You know, there's something to be said about absolutely keeping it simple. Nice glass of red wine, beautiful piece of flank steak. Cheers Butcher Market for making this so simple, so delicious, and so easy every single month. From Chef Eric Gephardt in my backyard to yours, cheers and have a great evening.